Hey, what's going on, guys? It's zMetapod here. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me for episode 6 of our So You Want to Use Commander series, where we go over all commanders and help you figure out how to best utilize them in the game Rise to War. In today's 6th episode, we're going to be looking at the commander, Khaldoon. Man, guys, this one is totally nostalgic for me. Khaldoon is one of those commanders in 1.0. He's like one of the first ones I ever used. The dude was just amazing in 1.0. Frenzy Khaldoon was insane. I wish I had a video that I could show you guys of like the damage he would do. I never got Frenzy for Khaldoon, but I did have someone in my warband who did, and oh my gosh, he would just melt everybody. It was insane. He was so good. So yeah, that's like a great memory I have with Khaldoon. Just the fact that like he was so free to play friendly and he was very tanky. He was probably too good for a really cheap commander. Like he was honestly S plus tier for evil, and he was like the first commander you ever got if you just chose Rune at the time. So for sure, Khaldoon have a lot of great memories with him from 1.0. He is the shell of his former self here in 2.0. That's not a surprise. They changed him up a lot. They really did make the epic commanders worse in 2.0, so I'm not really surprised. But like his fall from grace has been insane because oh my gosh, was he amazing in 1.0. But yeah, guys, with that being said, I just wanted to come in here and say that because like my love for him from 1.0 is like he was just so cool. And he's still cool. I still love his design, but like he's just not as good as he used to be. All right. So with that, like I said, back to the video, guys. Sorry for that. Just wanted to add this in. Thanks. I'm sure you guys loved Khaldoon as well. Let me know let me know how 1.0 Khaldoon was for you guys. I know everyone had him if you played Evil. He was amazing. Okay, back to the video. Sorry. Okay, guys, so before we get into the video today about Khaldoon, I first want to make a couple announcements. Announcement one, I got a new headset. I hope you can tell the microphone quality is different. My previous headset actually had broken, so because of that, I had to get a new one, which is why my uploads have not been as frequent as they should have been. Like, I usually try to put these out once every other day, but I think it's been like a week since I've been able to get any of these out, a week to a week and a half. So that's kind of the reason why, because my headset broke. So please let me know in the comments down below if you can tell if my voice sounds better, because I did spend quite a bit on this headset. It's really nice, so I'm hoping that I do sound better for you guys. I want the audio quality to go along with kind of my vision of how I want my videos to turn out in the future. So yeah, that's announcement one. Number two, I hit over 100 subscribers while I've been absent. That's insane, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Like, it makes me so happy to know that a lot of my videos are actually reaching out to the community as a whole and people are enjoying them. So thank you guys so much for your support. And also, as always, just double check, are you subscribed or not? If you're not subscribed, please, it would mean a lot to me if you could just hit that subscribe button. Like my next goal is 200, and then after that, maybe 500, 1,000. Who knows how high I can go? So any support I can get from you guys is always appreciated. So again, thank you so much. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's get into Khaldoon today. So let's start off with his skills. So his skills are as follows. First, Experienced Warrior. So at level 10, he does 200% physical damage to 2 enemy formations. The attack is going to stack +6 up to 5 times at level 5, and his commander attack goes up +5. Next, Marshal of the East. Small units in 3 ally formations have a 60% chance to have damage reduced by up to 10%, and this is modified by his command stat, and that is 1% for every 100 command. The target defense also goes up +6, and the target's attack +5. Very nice. Next, probably in my opinion, his best skill is Easterling. So his normal attacks cause the enemy's attack and defense to be down by 15 for 1 round. Also, that target's damage received is up +5, and its initiative is down by 7 for 1 round. So this is its best ability. Of course, if you're going support, for damage dealer, probably not so great, but definitely for a support Khaldoon, this is his best ability. Next, Spear Dancer. So his normal attacks do an extra 160% physical damage. At level 5, damage to melee units +15, and commander attack +5. So, as always, we can see with his skills here, he can be built, well, he can be made up 2 different ways with gear. So you can either make him a support character or you can make him a commander damage dealing commander. So Let's look at first what I would do if I was going to do damage dealing commander for Khaldoon. So his two main ones are going to be Experienced Warrior and Spear Dancer as the skills. So of course you're going to want to max out Experienced Warrior all the way to +10, so you can get this stacking before Spear Dancer goes off in the round where Experienced Warrior goes off. So you want Experienced Warrior to be leveled up first. After that, go into Spear Dancer. All right, and then after that, I mean, why not just go into Marshal of the East to kind of survive? You have a chance to have your formation take 60% less damage if you can get it all the way maxed out. That's really nice. So yeah, I would go Experienced Warrior, Spirit Dancer, and then rest into Marshal of the East mark. Now, if I was to do him as a support commander, which honestly I think is his better way to be built, that's just me personally. I feel like you could go either or. I feel like he lacks a lot of damage as a damage dealing commander because he only has a couple skills and they don't have that high of scaling. So I think support is his better option. So if I was doing support, I want to go, of course, it doesn't really matter what order, but because I think Easterling is just such a good ability, well, actually, no, I would go Marshal the East Mark first. Give your formation that chance to have reduced damage. And 60% is pretty high, so you're having this in 10, let's say in 10 rounds of a fight, you have this you have a chance for this to go off 6 times. That's pretty huge. So yeah, for this, I would definitely say 10 out of 10 into Marshal the East Mark first, and then the rest of it into Easterling. After that, go into Spear Dancer to maybe get that damage dealt to melee units plus 15%. Because you're not really going to be doing a whole lot of damage, so Experienced Warrior is not needed. So you might as well be getting those Spear Dancer procs every single round, along with a chance to get plus 15% damage to melee units. So that's how I would build him if I was doing support. Now, like I said before, I think his support build is his more meta-isk type of build. I don't think him as a damage dealer would be quite enough. So with that being said, I'm still going to give you the gear sets for both, but just know that I would prefer to run him as a support. So now let's take a look at his gear that we would put on Khaldoon. So for commander damage Khaldoon, of course, as always, you want to start off with the Axe of Khazad-dûm. Does the most commander damage in the game. Lots of commander attack. Perfect. For his helmet, we're looking kind of more for a command type of helmet to kind of keep him alive. So you're looking at the Cask of the Submerged Isle, or maybe the Cask of the Herodrum, something like that. Keep him alive a little bit more. For his chest plate, Berserker Raiment's always good. You can also go for more unit defense here and go with the Elven Hallberg as well. The two main gear that you need for any damage dealer is going to be the Axe of Khazad-dûm and then the Palantir of Orthanc. Those two together give enough attack and commander damage to the point where you really can kind of go where you want with the other two pieces, the chest piece and the helmet. But yeah, so of course the last one's going to be the Palantir of Orthanc for that commander damage. All right. For purple gear, we're looking at as much damage as you can possibly just get on him because purple gear is not the best. So we're going to go Battle Axe, Full Helm, Scale Mail, and of course the Bone Talisman. Those are the ones you want for Khaldoon in purple. And of course, the blue and the green are going to be on the screen as well for those who do not spend as much. All right, so now talking about the sets that you would want on a damaged Khaldoon, we're gonna, of course, going to be going with Might as the main one. Any of the reds, really. Might is great. Warcry, so he doesn't do a lot of upfront damage for Warcry, probably not as great. Perseverance would honestly be okay with his Spear Dancer ability as you keep doing more damage throughout the battle. You could also go with Sharp Blade as well, just for some typical buzz. So yeah, most of the red ones are fine. Just any of the red ones would work. I would say Warcry is probably the least one. Lore of the Arcane, absolutely not. He does not do any focus damage, so no Lore of the Arcane. But any of the other reds would work perfectly fine. Talking about Khaldoon and the gear you want to use when running him as a support, we want, of course, that high command, unit defense. He's not going to be doing any damage, so unit attack's not very useful. So unit defense is what we're going to focus on here. We're going to use the Reckoning as the weapon. We're going to use the Cask of the Submerged Isle as the helmet. We're going to use the Elven Hallberg as the chestplate. And of course, as the accessory, we're going to be using the Silver Harp, as those all give the best unit defense along with the most command as possible. For purples, we're looking again at the same thing, command and unit defense. So we're going to be running the Cutlass, the Horseman Helm, the Superior Hallberg, and the Drums of Moria. And of course, the blues and greens will be at the bottom as well. All right, guys, so talking about the sets we're going to be using for a support Khaldoon, we're going to be looking, of course, at anything that's blue. The red ones are not for the defensive stuff. Remember that. So, Fortitude, Thick Armor, evasive action, and of course divide and conquer are going to be the main four you're going to be looking at using when it comes to defensive Khaldoon. So I would probably say fortitude is the best out of all of them. Just that 12% just complete damage negation is wonderful. So yeah, Fortitude would be my best guess. The other ones are also great, and any combination of those work well too. It's now time to look at Khaldoon's relic. So, the Fang of the East looks as awesome as it did in 1.0. But yeah, the Fang of the East is his relic. So what does it do? So basically, it's just going to give you the typical stats that you'd look at. HP, which is unfortunate. You usually want command, but HP is what it gives. Command attack +4, command defense +4, unit attack +5, and it has the ability Outburst in the first 4 rounds. Reduces this formation's unit damage received from mountain units by 4%. At max, that is going to be 24%. So I could see this being useful in RP in a sense, because I think Good Side still uses a lot of mounted units, but that is starting to slowly change into more of men units that aren't mounted, like Woes' Hunters, Dale Watchmen, those type of guys, Woodmen. So it's not as useful as it usually is. So honestly, I would say probably avoid getting this because it's not going to really provide you a whole lot in terms of stats that you need. But I mean, if you're playing in Khaldoon, you want to get him as high as possible. Of course, you're going to need it. I would say just don't spend Mithril to increase the outburst damage negation. I would just go in it straight up for the stats as a whole. So yeah, that is Khaldoon's relic, Fang of the East. All right, guys. So as always, there's always that time of the video where we go and look at other people's Khaldoons because, as I always say, every commander can be used in different ways. But Khaldoon in this case is usually a damage dealer or a support, which in my opinion, support is better. But we're gonna look at some other people's anyways. So let's go into other people's Khaldoons. Respect 5, and we got Mr. Meatloaf and Cleed here, who I want to look at because I actually talked to one of them in some DMs, but the thing is, I don't remember which one it was because once my new season started on my main, I lost that conversation completely. I want to say it was Mr. Meatloaf, but I'm not exactly sure. So apologies to Clean and Mr. Meatloaf. I don't remember which one of you I spoke to, but thank you for your input anyways. So basically how the conversation went was they both are running Damage Khaldoon. Actually, I think it was Mr. Meatloaf because I remember it being black like this. But I also think Cleeds is not black. So I think it was Mr. Meatloaf. Could have been Cleed. Either way, sorry. Either way, I apologize. But yeah, I basically talked to them about what did they think about damage dealing Khaldoon? Because it looks like it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And what they basically told me was against non whales or like goldfish, it's pretty decent. But once you get up into the whaley fights, he completely falls off a cliff. He doesn't do any damage really. He's very middle of the pack, like 70k per fight, even when he's really whaled out. So probably damage dealing Khaldoon is not going to be the way to go, like I said, which is why I think that support Khaldoon is better. But yeah, as you can see, he's running damage dealing Khaldoon with some fortitude defensive sets just to keep him alive a little bit longer. But yeah, typical into these two here, Experienced Warrior, Spear Dancer, and then into the Marshal of the East for that extra troop defense. All right, and then let's take a look at Cleeds as well. Oh, yeah. So he's also running this. He's going way more into the offensive heavy with the red sets here. He's got Warcry along with Perseverance to keep ramping up his damage. And as you can see, he's running Experienced Warrior, Spear Dancer, and then he's also gone into Easterling here to probably get a good stat drop on one of the enemy formations, which is good there. But yeah, he's running them. They are running them more as the damage dealers. Now, let me show you one from one of my teammates in my main server who he's actually running him more as a support. So let me pull that up for you. Okay, guys. So shout out to my friend here, Kartkirk, who's in the current campaign with me with the team Warg. We are in Team Warg together. So he actually has a pretty decent Khaldoon that he was really nice to share with me. So as you can see here, he has him Zenith 1 and he's running him defensively, which is how I think is probably the best way to do him. Unfortunately, he's using medium troops, which means that his Marshal of the East Mark is not getting any benefit currently. So he could probably swap those over here just for the fun of it. But having medium units is very strong early on in campaigns. So this is honestly probably the better option anyways. So as you can see, he went Marshal of the East Mark, Easterling, and then other points in the Spirit Dancer for that extra damage to melee units. And he went for the full set of Reckoning, Cask, Hallberg, and Harp just to get the best gear that he possibly could, along with the Divide and Conquer set. So this is a very ideal Khaldoon. All right. So he also gave me one report with this. He's pretty Krakeny, so he probably could beat this guy regardless. But as you can see, his Saruman kind of carried, but Khaldoon didn't take that much damage at all. He probably did a good job reducing a lot of there. We can probably actually go see what Khaldoon did in the fight. So let's go maybe to round 2. Khaldoon. It's down here. So as you can see, he launched Easterling and he was able to hit Gimli and drop those stats by 15 for that. And the cool thing is he went before Gimli this fight, which means that Gimli did less damage in this round, which is great news. So yeah, that's kind of supporting Khaldoon right there. So guys, that'll be it for talking about Khaldoon and the different ways you can play him. So with that, let's go on to our tier list. So I'll see you guys over there.
All right, guys, welcome back to our tier list, the crazy tier list on how crazy you have to be to use some of these guys. All right, so Khaldoon. Well, actually, before we go into Khaldoon, last week we did Frodo. Last episode we did Frodo and Sam for episode 6, and they are a good free to play option to be your main tank. They're good. They're not really meta, but they're a very good option if you want to just survive. So for that, they were in the good tier. But this time we're looking at Khaldoon, who in 1.0 was the king of kings. What a great commander. But unfortunately, in 2.0, he doesn't do damage. He's not a very good tank. So it's really unfortunate. And even his best ability, you need it to hit the correct commander for it to be really good. Other than that, it's not really good at all if you hit, like, let's say a support commander. So for those reasons, I absolutely hate to do this. But in the current situation, Khaldoon, if you want to use him on your main team, you are absolutely insane. Like, he doesn't do damage. He gets outdone by almost everybody, even when it comes to damage. His support or tankiness is so reliant on like certain things such as hitting the right commander and also small units, which you don't really want to use for tanking. You usually want to be getting a lot of the commanders, the higher level units, like the cavalry units for the counters and stuff. So because of that, I'm sorry, Khaldoon's going to be in the insane tier. Again, still usable. Love the guy, but he was not going to be on my main team ever. And even for that reason, I've never even put him past Epic on my main account. And it's a main evil RP account. So it's for those reasons that Khaldoon is in the insane tier. But remember, play what you want. The game is fun. Make it work. Good luck to you guys. But with that, that's going to finish up the tier list. And so we're going to go over to our Wheel of Choices now. But I actually recorded the Wheel of Choice for episode 7 before my microphone broke. So the quality is probably going to go back to my previous microphone. But either way, let's see who we got for episode 7. I'll see you guys there.
Welcome back, guys, to the Wheel of Choices. So it's time to figure out who's going to be in episode 7 of our So You Want to Use Commander series. So last was Khaldoon. I'm kind of hoping we get one of the better commanders in the game, but let's see what we get. Maybe it's someone I can use. Ooh, all right, Boromir. I actually love this. I think Boromir is a completely slept on character, so I'm excited to be able to talk about him. So, guys, with that, that's going to be the end of today's video. So, as always, if you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that, I'll see you in the next video, guys. With that, this was zMetapod. I'm out.